Out of London into outlying districts, this did not stop the people. 3,000 to 4,000 crossed the Thames River just to enjoy themselves. Many stepped from the boats and hurried toward the octagonal building known as the Globe Playhouse, where William Shakespeare was part owner, actor, and leading playwright. This fluttering signal atop the globe announced play this afternoon. Once inside, whether they were sitting in the roofed galleries or standing in the unroofed pit, the spectators saw a most unusual structure known as the Tiring House. Here, lighted only by the afternoon sun, were 7 different acting areas, backed by property and dressing rooms. On the first level, the Globe's largest stage, known as the platform, jutted out into the middle of the audience. Most of the play's action took place here. The platform could represent a street with a row of houses, or it became anything suggested by Shakespeare's words, a garden, battlefield, woods, or a seacoast. Here is how Shakespeare created the setting for a scene in Twelfth Night.
What country, friends, is this?
This is Illyria, lady.
A curtained inner stage called the study was also used regularly. With curtains open, the study normally resembled a room in the average Elizabethan house. But by merely changing the wall hangings or placing a property, this stage could indicate many different settings: a general's tent, friar's cell, a room in a tavern, or a cave. When the study was used alone, the actors stayed within its boundaries, and the platform was disregarded, just as we today forget the orchestra pit or proscenium arch once the play begins. Frequently, these 2 acting areas were used together to represent one large interior, such as a ballroom, senate chamber, or throne room. Under the influence of study furniture, such as a throne, the locality of the platform changed. The actors moved freely over the 2 stages. Sometimes the platform and study became an exterior connected with an interior. For example, the Verona graveyard with the Capulet burial vault in Romeo and Juliet, or a battlefield and a general's tent. In Julius Caesar, for example, Cassius and Brutus with their soldiers meet on the platform representing a camp near Sardis, before the tent of Brutus.
Before the eyes of both our armies here, which should perceive nothing but love from us, let us not wrangle. Bid them move away. Then in my tent, Cassius, enlarge your griefs, and I will give you audience.
There were 4 acting areas on the second level of the globe. This narrow balcony, known as the terrace, was rarely used alone. Probably this is where Pindarus climbed the hill to scan the battlefield of Philippi at the bidding of Cassius, standing on lower ground. Generally, the terrace became absorbed as the chamber was revealed. This second-level inner stage was used mainly for interior scenes, and the ladies especially were at home here. From the chamber, Lady Macbeth probably spoke her most secret thoughts to Shakespeare's audience.
Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood.
Connected with the study by a backstage staircase, the chamber was often used as a second interior in the same house. or castle. In the study, Hamlet probably came upon Claudius praying, and during a long soliloquy made the decision to kill his uncle at another time. As Hamlet left this room, the audience immediately saw Gertrude and Polonius above in her room.
Mother, mother, mother!
Withdraw, I hear him coming.
Adjoining the chamber were two identical acting areas. The window stages, used for scenes of farce, domestic intrigue, prison life, or courtship. Usually, the action took place between an actor in a window stage and another on the platform or in the chamber. More than one crisis in the story of Romeo and Juliet was enacted here. Imagine the excitement of Shakespeare's audience when Lady Capulet appeared in her daughter's chamber, while Juliet in the window stage was still pulling up the rope ladder by which Romeo had just descended. On the third level, we find the seventh stage, called the music gallery. Occasionally, actors appeared here when a play called for an extra height to create a tower or ship masthead. However, for Shakespeare's plays, the music gallery was used almost exclusively to house the musicians. And they were kept busy behind closed curtains, accompanying songs, dances, and processions, as well as interpreting such musical effects as flourishes and sonnets. In addition to the acting areas, the Globe Playhouse was filled from the tower holding the flag to the cellar underneath the platform with fixed scenery and stage machines to help make performances exciting, spectacular, and realistic. The most conspicuous features of the fixed scenery were the two large stage posts. They were frequently used by the actors as trees, for hiding from each other, as posts upon which to tie victims, as well as ship's masts or maypoles. Even the doorposts were called into use for hiding or eavesdropping. And at times, an actor stepped under the terrace to keep from the sight of a character above. But what about the sudden appearance of ghosts, witches, and other unworldly characters? Trapdoors were cut in the floors and ceilings of the larger stages. Through these, the witches of Macbeth, Hamlet's father's ghost, and other apparitions appeared, usually accompanied by smoke and thunder, and disappeared. In the study floor was the grave trap, where Hamlet no doubt stood while he recalled his old childhood friend.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times.
Sometimes spirits, gods, or goddesses suddenly dropped from above. And returned to the heavens through the trap in the stage cover. The huts, or superstructure, on the fourth level, held the machinery which raised and lowered actors and properties. From here, too, came most of the sound effects. In front stood the trumpeter who sounded thrice to open a play. Here, the cannon was shot off during battle and coronation scenes. Here hung the great alarum bell, used to make confusion more realistic. And here the heavy cannonball was rolled to make the thunder of Shakespeare's many fearful nights. This, then, is the theatre for which Shakespeare wrote most of his plays. Its great flexibility made possible a scope and continuous sweep of action comparable to the motion picture of today. Three factors enabled Shakespeare's audience to follow a play's action in the Globe: the dialogue, the logical sequence of events, and the corresponding movement from one stage to another. The last few scenes of Macbeth illustrate these points very well. Near the end of Act 4, Malcolm and Macduff leave England, headed for Scotland, determined to get revenge on Macbeth. Immediately, a doctor and gentlewoman are revealed in a window stage, where they remain throughout Lady Macbeth's famous sleepwalking scene in the chamber. As the chamber curtains close, a part of the Scottish army, moving to join the English, surges onto the platform which is localized by the dialogue.
Near Burnham Wood shall we well meet them. That way are they coming.
What does the tyrant?
Great Dunsinane he strongly fortifies.
Make we our march towards Burnham.
The army moves on. As the chamber curtains open, showing Macbeth and attendants in a room of his castle at Dunsinane. He knows now that an army of 10,000 is approaching, his wife is ill, and his own men are deserting him. But Macbeth boasts.
I will not be afraid of death and bane, till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
The chamber curtains close, and the united Scottish and English forces under Malcolm Macduff pour onto the platform. Again, Shakespeare's words identify the setting.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery in report of us.
Macbeth's pursuers march on, and again the pursued appears, still boasting.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still, they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn.
Oh.
Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day until the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story, quickly.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Arm, arm, and out! Ring the alarm bell! Blow, wind! Come, rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now Malcolm's forces collect before the castle, and Macbeth appears at the entrance.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course.
Macbeth meets his bitter enemy, Macduff. As they leave the stage fighting, we hear Macbeth's final boast.
Lay on, Macduff, and damn be him that first cries, hold, enough.
To cover the time necessary for Macbeth's death off stage, Malcolm enters, and casualties are discussed. Until Macduff appears above on the castle parapet with Macbeth's head on a pike. He greets Malcolm.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's head. The time is free. Hail, King of Scotland.
King Malcolm then invites everyone to attend his coronation at Scone, and a flourish of music accompanies the procession to empty the stage. And the play is ended at the Globe.